walking through a new offer creation from start to finish. Now, we are going to start with our trusty North Pole to New York City layout because that guides all of our decisions. So here we are going to create our runway, and this one's just going to be a standard course. So let's put this green. So we need our, hold on. Okay. So this is an offer. There we go. And we are doing it as a one-time payment for a course. So that will determine what choices we make as we go through this. I will be showing you all of the different areas that are available, but it is crucially, vitally important when you are going into creating an offer, you must have your grocery list or your recipe or your checklist, whatever you want to call it. And it's all based on what is your North Pole to New York City. If I was doing a recurring payment, my choices would be different. If I was doing limited availability, my choices would be different. So let's dive in. Okay, funnels are not supposed to be confusing. And what I was seeing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and even currently is so many entrepreneurs, just like you, just like me, taking a piece of advice from one guru, another piece from another guru, a piece from a book, a piece from a webinar, a piece from a YouTube video, and assembling it into what I will call a Franken-funnel. And the result was people are completely confused. Things are going all over the place. You have automations in one area, not talking to automations in another. You midway decide to switch one of your technology tools that you were using, and that creates a problem that you didn't even know was there. That is not fun. I was born in North Pole, Alaska. Fun fact. And one day, while I was helping yet another client with yet another Franken-funnel, this metaphor hit me smack in my head and my face. I couldn't unsee it. And what I saw was me saying to them, okay, let's say, for instance, you need to get from the North Pole, Alaska, to New York City as fast as possible. North Pole struck me as cold traffic. New York City, lots of money, lots of free-flowing finance, expensive, and you wouldn't drive, you wouldn't walk, you wouldn't take a train. You would go directly to the airport, you would book a nonstop flight, and that would get you from North Pole to New York City as fast as humanly possible. And boom, North Pole to New York City was born. All right, quickly running through this. What you have is the North Pole, which is cold traffic. People are watching your videos, reading your blog, maybe interacting with you on social, but largely cold traffic. You don't have their name or their email or their phone number. Next, you have lead magnet or LM. This is where you get their email address or maybe a phone number if you're doing text messaging, lead generation, and potentially their name. So now they effectively have a ticket. They've kind of gone through ticketing with you. Then we're going to draw this big line. That is going to be your paywall area. Because on this side, now you have intro. I call it the intro offer. And this is simply the first time someone buys from you. Then the second time someone buys from you, you are in New York City. And this is largely the predictive behavior of a person buying a second time, that you're starting to create that loyalty in your customers. All right, so we have North Pole to New York City. And you see it's this nice straight line because funnels can turn into Franken-funnels very quickly. But planes don't do cartwheels. Planes come down smoothly on a runway. And when we are leveraging technology to achieve the passive income streams that we are working to create, computers can't do cartwheels. They can't. And anytime you try to make them do a cartwheel, you end up with a Franken-funnel because weird things happen. They morph, they don't cooperate, they cause headaches, they wreak havoc everywhere. We want straight runways. We want to get people from North Pole to New York City as fast as humanly possible. When you have a smooth and direct runway, taking people from North Pole to New York City and not taking them down through San Diego, up to Montana, back to California, down to Florida, up to Chicago, over to Des Moines. When you're not doing that, now you can start to truly gain traction in your business. So from this framework, North Pole to New York City, the entire metaphor of your business as an airport and you being the architect of that airport came to life. And that is where every single piece of North Pole to New York City, cold traffic to a lead magnet to buying again, falls into play in a smooth, predictable, non-Franken-funnel pathway, and it allows you to truly take charge, make those decisions, and more importantly, have successful takeoff and landing, which are our launches, they're our sales, they are the customer journey that we are providing and taking people on. And with North Pole to New York City, we build all of it to be strategic, completely bolted together with legal, tech, AI, and automation so that you have safe flights, your planes don't crash, you don't end up with a Franken-funnel, and you take it anywhere you want in the world. All right, first off, we're going to create new offers. So from your Kajabi dashboard, you want to be underneath offers, and we're going to click new offer. When we do this, we're going to give it a title, and we are going to make the title, let's see, what are we going to do today? Let's do how to make jelly bracelets. My son is enjoying doing this right now. Then you can choose to add your product. So you can always change this stuff. So don't panic over it. I could even name it something as easy as today's date. So you can change this. It's not locked in stone. We're going to select the products, and I am going to just choose, let's see, you know what? We're going to skip this. We're going to skip it at this point because I want to show you how to add it on later. So we're going to skip it because I don't have a product that's called bracelet making. Click continue. Now here you're going to price your offer. So like I said, we're doing paid, we're doing one time, and we're going to put the price in as $100, and the currency will be USD. Your shopping list is vitally important because here is the first decision point that you run into. One time, multi-pay subscription. You also have let customers pay what they want. I'm going to uncheck that. Your next decision point is choosing who is the payment processor. What are you going to use? You can use Kajabi Payments, Stripe, or PayPal, and all of that is set up underneath the settings video, which you can always go back and rewatch. If you have no choices, then you need to go turn on your payment providers. So we will choose Kajabi Payments to keep it easy here. I can add in additional payment options, so Apple Pay, Google Pay, Afterpay, Klarna. Anytime you're doing the financial decisions in terms of choosing who you want to process the payments and choosing which additional ones, do your research and do it from a perspective of longevity in your business. The decisions that you make concerning legal and financial, those are far more serious with longer consequences than what font did I use on this thumbnail? What graphic did I put in Canva? What did I name the module of this course? When you're choosing payment providers, anything with taxation, so broadly, money and legal, those decisions need some thought behind them. So we've made our decisions, and I'm going to click continue. Now here, I can adjust the button background color. I can adjust the button text on the checkout fields. And this is, again, why you need to enter with a checklist, a recipe, a why am I making this offer? What components do I need? Because it will save you from running into pieces like this of, oh, do I need their address? Do I need their name? Do I need their phone number? Do I need their tax ID? Those are decisions you need to be making ahead of creating this offer. I do not need these for this course purchase, so I'm going to leave them alone. The service agreement, we are going to flip to custom text. And this is vitally important. And this is why you will always, my attorney hat is always on, always here to let you know when you've got to be paying attention. So here we're going to do our standard format of when you purchase, you agree to these purchase terms. And so here I can hyperlink to my purchase terms. Now we're going to, I will include the link or the video that walks you through all of these pieces. But what you do is you say, okay, here's my link. Okay, what is my, where's my URL? For me, I can go straight into Notion. I can go straight into my pages database. Underneath my published pages, we're just going to look for a legal one. Let's see, legal. Here's purchase terms right here. So I am just going to copy this to my clipboard. We'll pretend that these are the purchase terms for this product. Go back into here, pop my purchase terms in, open it in a new window, and click OK. If what I have just done is foreign to you, make sure to watch the video that is close, somewhere very, very close to this video that you are watching in some way, shape, or form, because this is important. Whether your product is free, whether it is paid, you have to define the legal relationship between you and the people that you are providing access to, selling to, taking their money, taking their information, and spending time on what is a foundational issue protects your business. It's the whole reason that I have Boltaya. Bolt your business together with smart legal, tech, AI, and automations. This is bolting your business together with the necessary legal. So then we can click save and finish. Right. Yep, I would like you to click save. Yep, save. All right, this is an interesting message. All right, so we're going to go through now all of the different parts of this offer. So here underneath title, again, you can change this if you want to. The internal title can be, I'll put, for instance, because I'm doing this on a testing day, I'll put YouTube new offer video. Because internally, that's what I'm making this for. It doesn't show up anywhere. This description field, we're 10 years in Kajabi, and I still say, don't use this field. It pops up in random places. Sometimes it doesn't show at all. So the description field, I don't touch it. I don't use it. It doesn't do anything. We'll just treat it like an appendix, in the body. We don't need it. Get rid of it. Don't use it. Same thing with the Kajabi offer. I don't use it. Add products to this offer. So this we skipped earlier. Now we can add the product. So we'll come in and we'll do, we'll add, teaching edition to 8-year-olds. This is how you add a product. Now, if you are selling an offer and you don't need a product, just leave it blank. It's called a ghost offer. And this is how it works. Now, product access. Again, this is why you have your shopping list or your recipe card. Do you need to limit either the beginning access at a specific date or restricting for a certain amount of days. I do not need either of those, so I am going to skip by them. Post-purchase. This is where, what do you want people to see when they click complete purchase, the next URL that they're directed to? So your choices are a library, an existing landing page, or a custom thank you page. I recommend going with the existing landing page and then choose from a landing page that you've set up. So again, I'm going to pop into my Notion database. I can come up here. This is why your Digi infrastructure is so important. Here we go. We can just grab a thank you page. So I'm going to copy my thank you page to the clipboard. You would obviously choose the one that fits the offer that you're making. I just needed the name of that one. Let's see. Kajabi free trial thank you page. Okay, so let's go here. And if I type in free. Oh, we're not on my site. Oh, silly me. I forgot I was on the test site. My real site would have those pages. So here, let's just see if we have a thank you page. There we go. I forgot I was on the test site. So I'm going to send it to the thank you page that I've made that is on this test site. But that you would have your real pages, just like I would have my real pages if I was playing on my real site. Now, post-purchase email. On the post-purchase email, you have the default email, which, again, closely connected to this video will be how to adjust all of your default emails. This is an issue I didn't used to emphasize. I just kind of left it like, hey, if you want to change them, change them. If you don't, they're really no big deal. Well, I've changed my stance on that because I started seeing some of my default emails coming through, and it really was like I had Digi broccoli in my teeth. So the default email, you can find it underneath settings and underneath email templates right here. And this is, we want, let's see, offer purchase confirmation right here. So this email, if you click, again, watch the video, it'll show you exactly how to do all of them. But this is the email that it's changing. I have now completely on my own main site, I went through and changed all 45 with ChatGPT. It was a very easy process because some of them came through as like, hey, I don't send emails that are like, hey, that's just not me at all. And so when they're coming through, I was like, that's weird. So you can choose to update your defaults or not update your defaults. So going back to the offer, and we're going to open this offer up right here, how to make jelly bracelets. And we were moving right down here. You can do a custom email. This is not one I recommend because you're using the liquid markup stuff, which is not usually familiar to very many of us. So if you know how to do this, by all means, you are the one person that should be using this. Knock yourself out. Go for it. Or you can choose none. So if you choose none, then you really need to make sure that you add an automation that sends an email sequence. A sequence can be one email long that you have already created and put together. So if you choose none, what you want to do is make sure that you add an automation when the offer is purchased. Then we want to subscribe to an email sequence. We will click save. Oh, I got to choose one. There we go. We want, okay. And sometimes this is still happening. This is a bug, okay? And I'm leaving it in this video because it will save someone pulling their hair out at some point in the future. So this little button right here, I should be able to put my cursor there and type in and have it filter. It's not working. So if that's happening, it's a bug. Kajabi typically knows about it because we usually tell them. So here I have to choose by scrolling what I want. So I am going to just choose email sequence. I'll do buyer New York City. So again, it's why it's really helpful to use naming conventions and stick with them, because sometimes the search boxes don't always function the way they're supposed to. So we're going to subscribe to this email sequence, click save. All right. Now, the other thing that we want to make sure that we do is that we open up this sequence and double check that when it is finished, it's unsubscribed. So let's go up here. We're going to click save. And again, this is why you have your handy dandy checklist that you can use following along with this video. So we're going to open up this sequence. I'm going to just add a new email here. I do like to use the classic editor. The more and more that email is getting restricted, the more bloated your email is, the harder it is to get through. So I do use the classic editor on a lot of my emails. In fact, I've switched more and more to just having a single link that redirects to maybe a main page with lots of information if lots of information is needed. But I use the classic editor because it is the skinniest, tightest email that can get through. And again, as email keeps changing, anything that we can do to decrease the bloat of those emails, like the graphics and the videos and the links and all the things, I think the better it helps deliverability. Definitely doesn't hurt it. So we want this to send on day 0, which is immediately. So title, I will put day 0 purchase confirmation. And then here, congratulations, your purchase was successful. And you're going to add your message there and click save. Now, on the sequence, you'll see this 0 unsubscribe triggers. We want to add a trigger that when the sequence is finished, we unsubscribe them. So you always want to be, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That comes into play a lot of the time when you are working inside a lot of technology, but definitely inside Kajabi. Add the trigger when the email sequence is completed. And then we're going to choose this. Let's see, is this button? Nope, it's not working. Choose our same sequence. Click save. So this way, when they finish the sequence, they get our pulled off. You always want that for your email sequences because they can't get resubscribed. If they're still on the sequence, they cannot get resubscribed when people are buying things over and over again or whatever automations you've put together. You want the equal and opposite reaction, subscribe, unsubscribe when it is finished. So let's go back into the offer. There we go. And now we have the email sequence and they are subscribed. Now, the other piece that I will tell you is I also keep track of all of my email sequences. And I recommend you do this. Goodness gracious, this is where I think AI is brilliant because it can help you write your sequence and send everything out, but have everything where you need it to be. So get Notion, digital infrastructure. This is why it is important. Let's say that I needed to open up this email sequence. So here, and this is an actual email sequence. So this one, I always keep a picture of what are the automations, what is the unsubscribe trigger, then what are the emails. So all of this is listed. So when I'm using the editors, I'm just copying and pasting and copying and pasting. And so it makes life very simple and not confusing, because this way I know exactly where everything is and you don't have to fumble around. So that is for these email sequences. I recommend establish your digital infrastructure. If you haven't yet watched the video on that, it again is closely, look around this video. It's near in proximity. Then we will click save. So that gives you your front page. Now we're going to move to pricing. So underneath pricing, again, if you needed to change anything, this is how you change it. And the way that offers work, once someone purchases, their offer is locked in, and the collecting that payment information is then sent over to Stripe, over to PayPal, into Kajabi Payments, which is simply white labeled Stripe. It is Stripe. And so let's say I came in, 10 people bought it at 100, and I'm like, you know what? I really think this should be, let's make it 125. And we'll click save. The people that have already paid, theirs is locked in. It doesn't change it for them at all. It just changes it going forward. So in a lot of ways, it's like freeze tag. I can change anything that I want. Here, you can choose whether to set up sales tax or not. Again, this is not a question for 50,000 of your closest friends in a Facebook group. When it involves taxation, I am an attorney with an additional master's degree in tax. I know what I'm talking about on this issue. This is an issue for someone who has seen your numbers, who is handling your numbers, who knows what you're trying to do in your business, who has a picture of where you're selling, what thresholds you're meeting. There's lots of different factors. So what is right for one person can be the absolute wrong thing for someone else. The facts and circumstances are really, really, really important. And I don't say that any of this to scare you or frighten you. I say it to empower you, to enable you to be proactive and be like, oh, okay, this is not a question to ask all of these other random people whose bank accounts I don't know, whose inheritances I don't know, who own property. I mean, there are so many things that impact taxation. So please, please, please make sure that when you are setting up anything legal, anything financial, that you might get turned on to the information from watching a video like this or reading a post in a social group, but the action that you take needs to be informed from someone who is involved in your numbers. Okay, it's really important. It's so, so important. I want you bolting your business together in all of the right ways. Here, again, I could shift the payment provider. You may only choose one on this offer. There's only one payment provider that can take the money for this offer. So Kajabi is white labeled Stripe. Stripe is Stripe. I don't have PayPal turned on this test account. So here I can also keep the additional options. Now, offer availability. Again, this is why you have your checklist or your shopping list. Do you need a quantity limit on the offer in terms of I'm selling 10 tickets, only 10 people can buy this offer? That is an example of when you would use this. So here is where you turn that on. Set the time limit on the offer. I am only selling this offer until this date. This is when you would turn this option on. And when the offer expires, you have your choices. I highly recommend use a landing page. The landing page, you can make beautiful. It can be on brand. It can match the aesthetic and the theming of the offer, the sales page, the opt-in page, whatever you've designed. The expired page is ugly. Wouldn't use it. It's just ugly. Wouldn't use it. It's Kajabi. Kajabi made it. It's like a gray page. It says, this offer, the time limit has been reached. So that one I wouldn't do. Then we're going to click save. Now we're going to move into edit checkout. So edit checkout is where more options are available. So here, page content. This is where, again, I can change the offer name. I can change the checkout description. Here, put in the information that you want. You can add a video or you can add an image. Your testimonials, you can add a testimonial onto the page down here. You just click this, author, quote, pick a picture if you have one, and then click add. So that part, and this honestly, I really recommend put in the pieces that you want and then go and look at it. Is that the way you want it to look? Is it flowing the way that you want it to flow? Because it is nothing on this page to me, depending on how you're using it, more than likely something has come ahead of it. So to me, I like shorter, when you're using a sales page, I like a shorter offer because you've done the selling on the sales page. If you're not using a sales page, the great part is in Kajabi, you can make a longer offer page that has a video, that has a lot of custom text, that has some, targeted testimonials. And so you don't need a sales page. So it depends on what tool in the Kajabi toolbox that you are using. You can go both ways. But a really long, sales page that's doing the selling and a really long offer page, I just step back and go, the sales page did its job, then this is just closing the sale. But you can play around with it. Put on there what you want to put on there. Because truly, having watched sales, been a part of hundreds of businesses, the facts and circumstances really do make a difference. And for someone who is, selling one kind of product to one audience and to a different audience, they're not the same thing. The person selling how to get your baby to sleep at night is very different from someone saying, I'll teach you how to sell something with a webinar. Those are not the same thing. You don't need the same tactics, but we can all use the same tools. So on the offer, you can't go wrong. You really can't. And I know that I struggled for a long time because I thought, oh my goodness, like this guru said, and so now I got to go redo it. No. Is your offer, have you done the best that you can do using the best information that you have, but you know your audience the best. And if including something is going to tick off your audience, don't include it because it was included when you bought that information because you were a different target audience. So trust yourself, make smart decisions, but also trust your gut. Because I know there were times I questioned my own and it was to my detriment. So underneath design, we can do the action button color, the text, the banner image, and this one I can open this up. Let's see here. I have a banner image in here. Okay, so here you can adjust the image as needed in Kajabi and click save. We're going to upload this file. And I we'll click save. And you'll see it's kind of tiny. I like to make it at least 300 if I'm using the banner image. And it looks like I need it to be 400. There we go. Click save. And again, preview it on your mobile, preview it on desktop, preview it on tablets. If the majority of your audience is buying on mobile and it looks horrible on mobile, then don't use it. Okay. There we go. The logo will end up right here where this edit button is. Right in the middle of the page. So if you did a nice plain colored background and then included your logo, that could look really nice. But if I put a logo on, I know it's going to land right in the middle of my Revetaya image, and I don't want it to be there at all. So we're going to click save, and then we will click back. Then form fields. So again, very, very close to this video. Watch my instructions regarding form fields. If you're going to collect this information in Kajabi, there is not an easy way to get it out of Kajabi. So if you are collecting all of this stuff, please make sure that you are turning on a third-party tool like Zapier to, as soon as it's submitted, store it on a spreadsheet so that you can get to the information and use the information. I'm not going to collect any additional fields. They will show up. If I check the boxes, you'll see it builds out. Oh, it should build out. Hold on. There we go. It should build out my offer right here on the right-hand side, which it is. And if you add a custom field, definitely Zapier makes you happier. You could also use Make, but any of the tools that will take a submission in Kajabi and get it to some form of a spreadsheet is going to be incredibly, incredibly valuable for you. I've learned this one the hard way multiple times. And so now I try to make sure that I'm always letting people know what is going on. So here, underneath the login requirement, I usually will not make people log in. So if you're already in my system, you already have a username and a password, then I typically leave it this way. You can make it so that they must log in, and you can make it so that you collect their new member passwords. So I move it to returning members don't need to log in. The service agreement, we've already covered this. It carried through, so that is there. The mobile layout, you have two choices. Put the checkout form, which is this on the right-hand side on the desktop display, at the top or at the bottom. So if my sales page has done the selling, I really like putting the order form at the top of the page. Just close the sale. Like just right up there at the top, click and done. If you're not using a sales page and you're using a longer form offer, then you likely want to have the checkout form at the bottom of the page so that they can read through the offer, see all the information, and then purchase. So very flexible, but again, it's why we are armed with what is it that I need this offer to do for me. Then on the footer here, you're going to select your nav bar. Oh, I just have it as footer. There we go. That's how the search button should work. You should be able to just type it in and then have it be selected. So I'm going to select my footer for my offer checkout, and we're going to click save. All right. And you will see there's your offer. Go back. Now the order bump. So the order bump, you can select an offer, and I like to think of this as when you're on Amazon and it gives you those suggested, we see you're buying coloring books. Would you like to add colored pencils or crayons or glue sticks or an artist smock? So the order bump is complimenting pre-purchase before the person clicks that complete my purchase offer. So if you have, and again, this is where you will have laid it out. Let's get whiteboard in here just a second, because this is important. If I'm doing this as a one-time course, and now I want to have here, no, let's do it. Let's do it in black. Okay, I'm going to speed this up. So let's say we have the $100 one-time course. Then we have the order bump of, something that's doing really well right now is Voxer support, which I'm a huge fan of. I've used it for a few years now. And I know a lot of people like, oh, throw a one-on-one on there. Well, schedules are full. And the more and more freedom that you gain, the more and more freedom that you provide to your buyers based on what you're selling them, showing up for a call is kind of, it's a lot of heavy lifting. Voxer support or asynchronous support, I think, is a beautiful thing to add to your offers because it's asynchronous. It's like, it's a walkie-talkie on our phone. So that would make sense. We'll do Voxer support. Let's say it's $100 for one day. Now, obviously, you would need to have set up this on your infrastructure of your offer so that you have the offer, you know what you're doing. Again, we don't just add these like, oh, let's just add this in. That is what topples the business. That is what creates the Franken-funnels is you just, oh, well, that looks good. I think I'm going to add that in. You can add in anything, but please make sure it's part of the building plan and part of the infrastructure before you start throwing stuff in there, because there are support mechanisms that the computer has to have in order to help you achieve the passive income. So order bump, Voxer, that's good. Now, you might also want an upsell. So upsell. And you could also have, in Kajabi, you can have the downsell. So again, if you're putting your offer together, you would have just made those decisions ahead of time and selected them. I'm not going to select an order bump for this offer. Let's see if we have, I don't even know if I have a Voxer on the text site. Nope, we don't have a Voxer in there. So I'm not adding it in. All right. But that is where you set it out on your North Pole to New York City such that okay, I'm adding an order bump and this is the offer and it complements in this way. This is the upsell, it complements in this way. This is the downsell, it complements in this way. Because you deserve those straight, predictable runways. You don't want these things crashing. They take too much work to be crashing all over the place. All right, so that took care of edit checkout. Then we have, make sure there's nothing there. We want to make sure, sometimes Kajabi moves stuff around on me. So that is what I was checking. Underneath settings, so here you can choose to enable send as a gift at checkout. Again, please pay attention to the facts and circumstances of your audiences. While this can be a great tool, there are lots of times where the person saying, oh, I would absolutely offer a gift option, it makes sense for their audience. Absolutely. It may not make sense in your audience at all. So this is where you can turn it on. For notifications here, send customers to a third-party email provider. So if you are using ConvertKit or Aweber or Confusionsoft, which is Keep, MailChimp, any of those, you just need to go through the steps and hook up your email provider, which you can find under settings in the left-hand corner, and then you'll go to integrations. Okay. So that is where you put that information. I will tell you, I was ConvertKit way back in 2011 when I started, or when ConvertKit came on the market. And then Kajabi came on the market, but they didn't have email. So I stayed at ConvertKit. Kajabi added email. So I wanted all in one. I wanted everything all together in one place. And so I paused or turned off ConvertKit. In the last 3 years, I've been playing with a foot in both camps. And I recently made the decision that simplicity is one of my core values in operating my business. And so I have once again paused and turned off ConvertKit and am running my email strictly through Kajabi. So I say that in terms of you can change your mind. And if you are in business long enough, you have the luxury of being able to change your mind and adjust which tech tool that you are using in the business. So I've changed my mind many a times. For get notified if a purchase has been made, here you can enter in any emails to be notified when purchases are happening. This is great if you have someone on the team that needs to get the emails. Fantastic. It's also really great for supportive, I'll call it family members. So there were many, many years that I would put Chris's email in. And especially when the boys were very, very little, because he'd say, "Oh, honey, how was today?" And I was too tired by the time he got home. And this way, anytime there were sales happening, he was getting emails. So it was like, "Oh, look at that. We made a sale. Oh, we made a sale. Oh, we made a sale." So that field is kind of fun. Put it either for people that are required to know about the sale and or people that are supportive of the sale. Those are two good things to keep in mind for that one. Now, cart abandonment emails. This is another instance of the default template comes into play. So again, another instance that Digi Broccoli, I now pay attention to it. Like I'm now paying attention to that one. You can send the cart abandonment email and you have a choice of never, 1 hour, 6 hours, 10 hours, or 24 hours. So depending on what's going on, make your choice. I don't think you can screw this up. And if you do it and it's not working the way that it's not delivering the way that you would like it to deliver, change it. Okay. You can keep all of this is one big test kitchen. No matter how certain anyone comes across, it is one big test kitchen. Then the affiliate commissions. So you can turn on and use the Kajabi affiliate program. Currently, we are in spring 2025. They are making some big changes to the affiliate capabilities. So you can turn it on and use it or turn it off. We're going to turn it off and click save. Then, just so that we touch on it, the upsell area. Here is where, again, if I'm looking at my runway, do I have an upsell? What is the upsell that I want to do? In Kajabi, you can do multiple upsells. So again, just map out the infrastructure. What are the pieces that I want the person to do such that you maintain that predictable straight line sales, not ending up with a Franken-funnel, because those are not fun. They're not fun, and they take so much time to build. They take so much time to build. Because we don't know we're creating a Franken-funnel while we're doing all of this funneling stuff. So that should get us, let's just take a quick peek. But that should take you entirely through every section on your checklist If you have questions, thoughts, ideas, feel free, ask them in the comments. If there's a specific type of offer that you would like me to run through, let me know. Put it in the comments. Because I am happy to go through any multitude of North Pole to New York City runways as far as the offers go, and choosing the different options and how they play off of each other and different ways you might use them to achieve the results that you want.